Hello, my name is Joshua Bourdon, and I currently serve on the Town Council in Derry, and I'm running for Executive Council here in District 3.
What's one of the more important issues to you?
So the reason I'm running is because we need to make sure that Planned Parenthood continues to get funding, that Medicaid expansion continues to get funding, and that we do more with substance abuse in the state.
Why is Medicaid funding so important?
Well, I've spent the last 10 years working in healthcare staffing. From a business perspective, the states that have accepted the Affordable Care Act thrive all over the country, and those communities tend to be stronger. From a compassionate and empathy standpoint, we're talking about 50,000 residents. Those are our parents, our friends, our aunts and uncles. I think from a community perspective, to allow 50,000 people to lose necessary access to healthcare would be a grave mistake. And as long as I'm able, I will continue to be a cheerleader and to advocate for that type of program.
Now you live in Derry?
I do, yes.
How long have you lived there?
So off and on. I've rented in Derry before, and I ended up moving back to Derry with my wife Leah, and my daughter Sasha, who's hiding, and our son Miles. So about 6 years off and on.
Yeah. And besides Medicare, the Medicare program, what other issues are important that the Executive Council has an influence on?
So the Executive Council is it's a great question, I'm glad you asked it, because many people aren't aware of the importance of the Executive Council and the amount of power that position wields. Essentially, it's a body of 5 members who advise the governor on nearly all issues. They vote on all personnel contracts over $10,000, and they appoint judges and commissioners and other high-ranking officials. So, as I mentioned earlier, I've spent the past 10 years in healthcare staffing, placing doctors, nurses, and physical therapists all over the country. I'm an expert at hiring people. I think it's imperative to look at a person's past. It's always a strong indicator of what they'll bring into the future. So hiring people and appointing people, they go hand in hand. We need to make sure whoever's in charge of these various organizations that we will be voting on, that we have quality people of integrity, and people that will bring empathy to each of these departments.
I noticed that women's health care issue has become such an important issue. It's an important issue in the governor's race on the Republican side. In Sununu, who you're trying to take your seat from,
right, changed
his vote.
Right.
Tell us a little about that.
So when you look at what Planned Parenthood does, 97% of what they do is to support family planning, contraception, healthcare screenings. It's such a important, well-established. I mean, this year is their 100th anniversary. There is no more trustworthy organization out there than Planned Parenthood. And when you focus in on the education piece and the healthcare piece, and the 97% of what they do, overwhelmingly, men and women from both sides of the aisle, Republican, Democrat, and Independents alike, they support helping families and family planning. So it's an extremely important issue. It will come up time and time again. We need to continue to fund it and to allow middle and lower income families in this state to have quality access to health care.
I noticed that on the previous vote for the Executive Council, they eliminated a person who was highly qualified to be a judge. You know anything about that issue?
That was another controversial issue that, for those who pay attention, we're aware of. Again, my litmus test is not just the resume, and it certainly will not be, is this man or woman a Democrat or a Republican? The way I've been taught to judge a person is, in addition to the resume, is to look at their background. If you look at the decisions they've made, you look at their integrity and their moral makeup, that will always give you a great indicator of what to expect in the future. So they passed on her for political reasons. I will never do that. If they're qualified, they'll have my support, regardless of their party affiliation.
Yeah, quality judges is a very important thing if we're going to be fighting things like the opioid epidemic, because we're replacing putting in place now a diversion program in New Hampshire to help
Right.
with people who have addiction, not just throw them in jail, but to help them with their addiction problems.
Right.
So it's very important. I think that's a critical issue that most people don't realize.
Yeah, and we're making great strides with court diversion, but at the end of the day, the families that I speak to, they have, there's families right now and children and loved ones who are being given an opportunity to go into a program. The problem is we don't have enough beds. And the other problem is when the beds are available for those loved ones who are suffering from substance misuse to go to, the money's not there. So you have families who are mortgaging their homes, spending their life savings, $60,000, $70,000 a year, to get their kids the help they need. We need, and people ask, well, how are you going to fund this? I ask them, what is the cost of doing nothing? What type of impact does that family losing their loved one, or how about the 25-year-old mother who overdoses and passes away and leaves 2 children behind? What's the cost of that on this thing?
That very issue happened here in Chester. People don't understand that we have people here in Chester who die from overdoses.
Right.
It's not just a urban problem or a dairy problem. It's a problem that occurs everywhere.
Right. And if there was a good thing to come out of this is an issue that both parties can rally around. We're seeing that happen in dairy. We're putting our politics aside. We're coming together, and that's the type of legislation and type of cooperation that I support. I've got a history of reaching across the aisle. Last year in dairy, I was able to work with moderate Republicans and independents alike when radicals tried to cut our services, close our fire station that would dramatically impacted Chester. Reaching across the aisle, we worked together to restore our budget process. Reaching across the aisle, we worked together to remove those counselors and that radical way of thinking. So substance misuse is an issue that I'm positive we will rally around and put the issue ahead of our party politics.
Any other things that you bring to the table that will be important in the future for being a member of the Executive Council?
Absolutely. I just mentioned the fact that I'm from Derry. Derry's the largest community in this district that I'm running for. And the bottom line is this district, you cannot win unless you get support from Derry. So if you're one who is looking for a leader who is going to put the party ahead of everything, I am not that person. I'm telling you right now. I am a Democrat, but more importantly, I'm the type of Democrat who focuses on the issues. And my litmus test is integrity. How many people is it going to help? How much is it going to cost? And being from Derry, I will be able to win the seat. And I'm asking for your support on September 13th. And I'll continue to work my tail off.
And unlike us, you have a contested situation.
Yes.
So it's important for Democrats and independents to pull a Democratic ticket and get out there and vote for you.
Right.
Very important.
Right.
So get out there and vote for Josh. He's the guy you want in this position. He'll do the job, and he's a guy that's approachable. I found him approachable several months ago. So if you're looking for somebody you can pick up the phone and give a call to, who will call you back. Yeah. This is the guy.
And I'll give you my number. It's 603-998-2433. I'd love to hear from you. Regardless of how, I'm confident I will win the primary, but whether I win or not, I'm still a community activist and someone who truly cares about making a difference. So call me anytime.
So vote for Josh.
Thank you.